lovely friends, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video it's slightly different because I want to share with you my latest grocery haul. Quite a few of you guys have been asking for it, and so I thought I would share it with you now. This is a little bit different because I know I talk a lot about Lidl and Aldi, but this time around we actually went to ASDA, and the reason being is that I haven't got access to my car at the moment, and so that means I have to basically make the most of online shopping for now. So I went and did a comparison site, and of course the cheapest is Lidl and Aldi, but because they don't have delivery options, I went for the next cheapest one, which is ASDA. And so I want to share with you exactly what I've got. This is exactly what we are going to be having for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully I can stretch it that far. Now it's just me and my son, so that makes things a little bit easier, but I want to explain to you exactly what I got and how I meal plan and how I intend to use this food in the next coming weeks. Remember, I'm also on my no spend year, so that means I can't just buy anything that I want. I have to be very, very intentional with how much I spend. But stick to the end and I'll share with you exactly how much I spent on this shop. And without further ado, let's just get on with this video. Don't forget to hit that like button, and of course don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy these type of content. Alright, so I'm gonna go through like the vegetables, and then we're kind of gonna work our way through everything on here. It's quite a lot, but this is what I got. So I got 2 packs of red onions because I absolutely love cooking with red onions. I don't know what it is about red onions, but I really like them over white onions, and they seem to work really well. I got baby potatoes because I anticipate that quite a lot of the recipes I'm going to be using this month are actually going to be using small potatoes as opposed to the large potatoes. But that was actually a mistake. I meant to get the slightly bigger ones than these, but I'll just have to work with them. And if you know me, you'll know that I like to basically cut them and dice them and freeze them into portions as and when I need them. Same thing with the sweet potatoes, so I will make sure that I cut them in the portions that we need in the style that I want to cook with them. For the most part, I think these are going to be used for stews when I'm making stews, and I'll kind of like maybe discuss that. If you want to see like a video where I just do like a lot of vlog showing you how I cook my food, let me know in the comments. I also got some courgettes. So what I like to do with this is, because my son is a bit of a picky eater, is to grate them and incorporate them in the food, and that way he kind of like doesn't see it, but he can also get them. I also picked up some avocados because I've not had them for a while, and to be honest with you, I just kind of wanted them. So there's no actual real reason for those ones. And then in terms of fruit, I picked up some pears because I don't know what it is, but ever since I grew up, I knew that you start the day off with fruit, so I always have fruit. We have pears, we have apples, and we have strawberries. So what I like to do is I don't like to buy too much fresh fruit. I basically just buy enough for like a week and a half, and then I have some spare cash that I kind of put aside on my food budget, and that's what I use to buy like fresh fruit and milk and stuff like that. I also picked up some mixed peppers. I will also link the video where I show you how I freeze my vegetables. So I'll slice them up into basically portions. I mix them up and then I'll use them as when I need them because I'll freeze them. I also do the same thing with the mushrooms, and I'll be using that in a lot of my pasta sauces. And then I also like to purchase fresh tomatoes because I do like to make my own pasta sauces, as well as, you know, use them when I'm making like stews and stuff like that. So that's really helpful. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm possibly going to dice them or blend them, make a sauce, and then freeze them and then have them as and when I need them. I've also got my spinach. Again, this is going to get washed, chopped and frozen. Like I said, I've got my pastas. So what I like to do is I like to buy like a mix of like 3 different pastas and then mix them up in my little jar. So I'm just going to show you right now. So I've got like one of these canister jars from IKEA, and what I do is I just mix them up, and that way when we're having pasta, my son really likes it when he has like different styles of pastas. I also kind of like it, don't know why, but it's fun. Then because we usually have our own fakeaways at home, this time around I really want to make like fried chicken with buttermilk, so that's why that's there. And then I always buy fresh cream for example, for making pasta dishes and I need fresh cream. But what I like to do is I actually freeze this and use it when I need it. So I don't leave it in the fridge and let it like basically go off. But one really good tip for this is, so as you can see, I've got 2 300 mils, which worked out significantly cheaper than buying the 1 600 ml. So that's something that you should always look at, is the unit price. So I think, if I can remember correctly, these were 60p each. So that's £1.20 for these, but the 600 ml was £1.50. So sometimes it works out better to buy 2 of the same thing rather than just buying one big one. That's a handy tip for you. Okay, then we've got butter, obviously for toast and stuff like that. We've also got cheese because we're going to try and make our own homemade pizzas. And also just like if we're having like a quick lunch and we need cheese, then that's there. I've also got some soft cheese here for, again, same thing, quick lunches, quick dinners, whatever we need. I've also got plain flour. So this is always a staple in my house, just because if we ever, for example, I don't feel like cooking too much, I like to make quite cheap breakfasts as well. So this is really handy for like pancakes, and if we need to make like chapatis and all of that stuff. So I always have that. And same thing with the sugar, we just needed sugar, so I always, again, check the unit price to see how much it costs to buy 1 kg versus 2 kg, and in the end you might actually find out it's cheaper to buy 2 kgs and let it sit there for a while and have it as you go along. So that's a tip that you should know. I also got some stock cubes because I really like cooking with stock cubes, so I'm going to try these out. I haven't tried these ones out before, so I'm going to try those out. Staple in my house, eggs. We have these for breakfast, lunch, you name it, we got it. I've also got some lemons and limes because I want to make a couple of dishes that require lemons specifically. So the lemons I have because I sometimes really like to have hot water with lemon and honey in the mornings just to start off my day, and that works out really well, not just to start straight away with coffee. So that works really well. I also bought these because I also use these to wash my chicken. But I'll leave that for another conversation because I know some people don't believe in washing chickens, but I've been brought up washing chickens. We can discuss that in the comments below. And so I'll use that for that, as well as my next video should be one showing you how I also use the lemon scraps to descale my kettle, which is like a frugal way, and obviously it's better for the environment and you're not putting chemicals into your kettle as well. So, and it works perfectly. So I'll show you how to use that. And then I got my son his favourite cereal. So sometimes he doesn't want to eat a heavy breakfast, so he has cereals and he really likes these ones. So I got those. I got some mini wraps. So these ones are really perfect for when you're making pizzas, and it's an activity that we do together sometimes. Mainly for when we're doing our takeaways or fakeaways, we'll have pizzas. So we make them and we can design them together. We use the cheese and whatever other toppings we want to use. I got some noodles for, you know, the days I can't be asked to cook. I really like this. I particularly really like this brand. It's really nice. And they're just there for when we need them. So that's that. I also got some chocolate brioche. So my son really likes chocolate brioche. And when I go pick him up from school, sometimes he'll go to the park with his friends. And it's just something that they can all share together. So I picked those up too. And I picked up a round of bagels as well. So with bagels, same thing as I do with bread. Right now, after this video, they're going to go straight into the freezer, and I will use them as and when I need them, and that way it stops them from molding over. And then because Easter's coming up, I thought we'd treat ourselves. I know I'm on a slight weight loss journey, but sometimes you got to treat yourself. So I got myself one, I got my son one, so fun times. And then I personally really like these snacks. So these are really great snack if you want to eat something a little bit more natural, and they're nice. So I just picked one up. I've not tried the blueberry muffin flavor before. And then for my son, I do give him a few not so healthy snacks. I've got the fruit winders that he really likes, and I've also got these banana soft oaty bars, so he really likes those as well. And then I also picked up some seasonings. So I haven't tried these out before. Well, let me not lie, I've tried the Peruvian one before and I really liked it, and it's really nice. So I've purchased one. It is slightly expensive because it's like £1 for this little 15-gram sachet, but I really like it. It's really nice for seasoning food. So sometimes you gotta treat yourself, you know. And then I also got the chimichurri one as well, so I'm really happy to try that out. And whilst I was thinking of seasoning, I also purchased a couple of my home favourites. So if you've followed me on this channel, you know I have a whole cupboard dedicated to seasoning because I absolutely love seasoning my food. So I've got some mild curry powder, some all-purpose seasoning, and chicken seasoning. To be honest with you, I think these are practically the same thing, but I just like having them in the house. And I also picked up some peanut butter. But back to seasoning, I picked up some bay leaves, again seasoning that I use in my house a lot. I didn't realize that I'd also picked up this all-purpose seasoning. So I think what I'd meant to do was to compare the prices of these two to see which one is cheaper, but they're both, because they're both 100 grams, but sometimes you find that if it comes in a paper packet it's cheaper, and obviously it's also in the world food section, rather than buying them in these plastic containers. So clearly didn't pay too much attention to realize that I'd gotten two of the same thing. Anyway, it is what it is. And then I got some coriander powder as well. And then Again, with staples in my house, I always have coconut milk. So what I will say with coconut milk is don't always just buy the first brand that they give to you or the first brand that you see. You should always check to see which one has the cheapest option. So usually it's not actually the store's own version of coconut milk. It will be either KTC or any other brand. So it's worth checking. And it's also worth checking in the world food section to see if you'll find a cheaper coconut milk, because that's what I found happens. So if your supermarket has a world food section, that's one worth checking. Same thing with the chickpeas. I actually found that the ASDA's own chickpeas were cheaper than buying, for example, the KTC chickpeas, which is the ones that I normally buy. So that was significantly cheaper, so we went for those. I picked up 2. Again, staple in my house. We have like a chickpea coconut curry, which is really nice, and we always have that. Then I got some honey again for my lemon, honey and ginger honey. And then my son absolutely loves pesto, and for the days I can't be bothered to cook, we use pesto in the pasta. And then I also picked up some dates, because you know what, I haven't had these for a long time and they were on offer, so I thought, why not treat myself? And then of course I picked up some 50 tie handle food and freezer bags. Now usually I don't buy these. I think I only buy these 2 times a year, and the reason why is because you have 50 in them, and the main purpose that I use them for is when I'm freezing my food. I like to section, like for example, like my meat, or for example when I was telling you about the cream, I'll pour the cream in and I'll section it out and lay it flat in the freezer so that I can just, you know. But what I actually like to do is whenever I've used them is to wash them and reuse them, and then I'll only throw them away when they get a little bit grubby. So I basically buy them twice a year, and that's it, if even that. So yes, that's all the fresh food stuff. So let's just go into the meats and I will show you what I mean. But if you don't like meat, skip forward to the next section. Okay, so here's the meat that's gonna basically last us just over a month, and I'll tell you how I do that. Now, it's worth noting that there's only 2 of us, so it is quite a lot of meat, so I anticipate this will actually last us more than a month, maybe closer to 2 months actually. And I'm going to show you exactly what I use it for and what I do with it. So basically buy 2 types of chickens. Usually it's either chicken drumsticks and chicken wings, or it will be chicken thigh portions and chicken wings. But like I said, I bought buttermilk because I actually want to make like these chicken thighs into like a really, really nice, like delicious fried chicken, which is going to be really good. Anyway, so I bought chicken thigh portions and I bought 2 packs of chicken wings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to split them into portions for each meal. So the chicken thighs, I think there should be like 8 in there, which is like 3. I usually do about 3 per meal. So that should give us about 2.5 meals, or 3 meals actually, 3 meals out of that. And then the chicken wings, what I do is I split them. So I split the wing and the little drumstick bit to basically give us a little bit more portion, depending on what sauce I'm going to make, or depending on what dish I'm going to make will determine how many we need. But for the most part, each basically splits into 3 meals. So you can imagine this is quite a lot of meals, and I will do the same thing. So this time round I tried something different because they were on offer, so I bought the loin steaks, and the same thing, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do 2 per meal, 2 per meal, 2 per meal, and you can see that's 4 meals. And that's going to last us quite a bit. Don't forget, we do tend to have at least 1 or 2 days of vegetarian meals a week. So 13 different meals. So you can see that actually this can last a lot longer than anticipated. I also just bought some bacon because sometimes it's just nice to have a breakfast with bacon, or if I'm making burgers or so, then we can have burgers and bacon, whatever. It's just really nice. I also buy some sausages as well. And then I only ever buy 1 bit of mince, and again I will split this into 3. Now I know what you're saying, how can you split it into 3? Because I pack it with a lot of veggies. So I've got like the vegetables that I've bought, but also I bought frozen vegetables as well. So I'll cut this into 3. A third of it will be used for bolognese, a third of it will be used for meatballs, and a third of it will be used to make burgers at home. Like I said, we're only 2 of us, that's why I'm able to split it that far. And then for our fakeaways night, we always have chips, so it's much cheaper to buy the chips frozen. Like again, I always say, just make sure you check how much it costs to so how much it costs per kilo for your chips, because you might realize that actually getting 1.5 kg is, even though it looks a bit more expensive, it's actually cheaper than getting just the 1 kg or the 900 grams. And then for our pasta dishes, I will make sure we have some garlic bread as well. And there you go, that's exactly everything that I've purchased, and I'm hoping that it will last us at least 6 weeks, well at least 4 weeks, and if I can stretch it, I'm gonna try and stretch it out till 6 weeks. Again, I'm trying my hardest to make sure that I'm not spending as much on food and that I've got a handle on my budget. But like I talk a lot about on my channel, I want to share with you exactly how I meal prep and how I hope to stretch my food for as long as I can. And so I know what you're wondering, how much did I spend on that food shop? I spent exactly this amount because I've had to calculate it on the receipt, which I think is pretty decent and good. What I do allow myself is to have a flexible budget. So I have the fixed items that I'm buying, but I'm gonna allow myself at least £20 for the next 4 to 5 weeks to just buy things that we need. So fresh fruit and vegetable, milk, bread, you know, just the essentials that we need that I can't buy in bulk and don't want to buy in bulk. So that's what we have. If you are super interested in understanding exactly how I'm going to meal prep these items, let me know, because I'll be doing that over the weekend and I'll be more than happy to just film the process. But basically it will show you exactly how I section each of these items and basically freeze them and make them last as long as possible, because not only do I want to reduce the amount of food that I'm wasting, I'm of course wanting to save money, so I don't want to keep going to the shops to buy things over and over again. And so please make sure to hit that like button if you've enjoyed these comments. Also, don't forget to check out these videos, which will show you all the frugal living tips that I'm doing around my food shop and my food budget, to make sure that I'm not only spending less but also making the most of what I have. And so thank you so much for all your support. I will see you in the comments down below, and of course I will see you in the next video. Do take care. Bye.